5, brought to you by Talking Rocks Cavern. Explore the beauty above and below ground at Talking Rocks Cavern. The Springfield-Greene County Park Board reminding you to go play. And Roto-Rooter Plumbing and Drain Service. Call Southwest Missouri's best plumber today for a free estimate. Here are your hosts, Ethan and Sarah Forhetz.
And here we are on a chilly Monday morning. Man, winter moved in quick, didn't it?
Yeah. So at the bottom of my computer screen, it's not the actual forecast. It's just like, it's kind of like an indicator for how you should dress for the day. And it says rain and snow. What?
Well,
it's not like the full out forecast. It's just like the little, like, on the bottom of your computer screen.
Yeah. Today it's supposed to be mostly sunny throughout the day, though. 41 degrees. So I think that was an old icon. It didn't refresh. But at any rate, we had, I was up in Kansas City over the weekend outside for soccer games, and Saturday was miserable. It rained like a steady, hard rain the whole time. So cold. The kids were freezing because, of course, they didn't have anything. I had I had my big coat on. I had an umbrella. So I was at least dry. Kids weren't dry, and it was brutal. I was laughing because I can see Bernie Sanders and Ethan. Remember this? Like when Bernie sat like this, and he leaned back in his chair. I stood.
Oh, did you?
I stood. Yeah.
Oh, I stand corrected.
The whole weekend I stood. I usually sit, but I was trying to move around to stay warm.
Yeah. All right. Okay. Well,
let's do some news.
Nicer today, at least, hopefully with that sunshine. So here's some news. Yes, the war continues in Israel, and with the bloodshed, Missouri Senator Josh Hawley says he wants the U.S. to offer more help and support for Israel. Hawley says that Israel is asking for help to replenish its missiles to go toward the Iron Dome defense system. He says Israel's security is vital to making sure there's a Jewish state and to making sure that Jewish people are not murdered across the world. And their peace, he says, helps keep World War III from happening. So, all right. You remember the guy who robbed a Springfield bank while wearing the Superman t-shirt? He was found in Alabama. Apparently, he found his kryptonite. He had robbed a bank there as well, just a couple weeks after robbing the one in Springfield. He was in our town on September 29th, caught on camera at the Legacy Bank on South National wearing that Superman shirt.
Yes, everybody remembers the picture of that guy. Not at all in disguise, except for the Superman shirt. To keep Springfield Public Schools out of a lurch again from starting the school year off without enough teachers, the district is now offering $1,500 incentives for teachers to tell the district soon if they intend on not coming back the following school year. So the incentive is for early notice if they're going to leave for whatever reason. The district asked the board for permission to offer that money for anyone who turns in their notice by November 30th if they have plans to resign or retire at the end of the school year. So that's interesting.
I think that makes sense, honestly. Yeah, because otherwise you wouldn't be retired, or you wouldn't be telling them until the school year is out, but then it doesn't give the district much time to get somebody else hired in their place, Yeah,
if you're leaning one way, that may be incentive to go.
Yeah.
And let them know early. Speaking of money, more money is going to Greene County businesses hurt during coronavirus. $1.1 million in federal grant money comes from the American Rescue Plan, still being handed out. 80 businesses will receive a slice, among them Hilton Garden Inn, the Doubletree Hotel, Cafe Cusco on Commercial Street, to name a few. Grants are anywhere from $800 to $50,000. So $800 all the way up to $50,000.
Yeah. Over the weekend, former Vice President Mike Pence pulled out of the race for president. It's a crowded field on that side of the ticket, but for now, President Donald Trump is the front runner. Mike Pence saying, quote, "It is not Pence's time, not Mike Pence's time." So he is out. Actor Matthew Perry, perhaps you saw this. He died over the weekend at age 54. Of course, most people know him from Friends, the sitcom on NBC. On Saturday, authorities said that he suffered cardiac arrest at a LA area home. Most news outlets seem to be reporting that he was in a hot tub at the time and died by drowning. Though if you read about it, there's been some conflicting reports. So I guess at this point, safe to say it's under investigation, but they say that no foul play is expected.
Well, he's got a very public and sad history with drugs. So I think everybody's mind immediately went to that, thinking that's what caused him to drown, kind of like Whitney Houston years ago. That hasn't come out yet, but I mean, that's the reaction, the knee-jerk reaction that people have whenever somebody that young drowns in a hot tub.
Yeah, man, that's terrible. That's terrible. And obviously I know who he is from friends, but I haven't followed his life. So I did not actually know, probably shows my ignorance, but I didn't know that he struggled with addiction in his past. So
he many times he's been to rehab and then had problems and gone back. And it's been a long battle for him.
Okay. If you cook with a pressure cooker, they're very popular these days. Listen up. Nearly 1 million of them are being recalled. The brand is Insignia. So if that's you, if you have one that's Insignia, watch out. Apparently they have the wrong markings on the inner pot, so people can overfill it. And then when you heat it up, it can spew out hot liquid, and 17 people have been burned by it. So contact the company for a replacement or take it back to where you got it.
Yeah, those pressure cookers are the real deal. They're serious business. You don't want to mess around.
It makes me nervous. I don't, this, I don't cook with a pressure cooker, but I always feel like when you put the lid on and you batten down the hatch, like that it could explode. Well,
that used to be a real problem, a real concern when the pressure cookers of my grandmother's day, because there was no digital screens or anything. It was just you turn it on. So they've gotten better, certainly, over time.
Except for the Insignia ones for now. Except for those, watch out.
Those could scald you with hot water.
All right.
Hey, congratulations on a big milestone to one of our favorite places, the Pizza House. Man, that's good pizza. They just celebrated 65 years in business, the last 15 years in their current location on Commercial Street. Wow, that's been 15 years.
I know. I thought that too. Because, I remember when they moved.
Yeah, we used to live near the location before Commercial Street. We used to go there, and then it moved and broke our hearts. But then I got a job at Convoy near Commercial Street, so then it worked out again. At any rate, that original location was at Glenstone and Bennett. It was on Glenstone at the intersection of Bennett there. Retired Air Force veterans D. Smith and Pat Clark opened the Pizza House in October of 1958, and the pizza is still as thin as ever. And you can strong.
See through it. It's so thin. It's so good though. If you haven't
Delicious.
Been, you need to go.
Yeah, it's fantastic. Well, no doubt all of you saw this. Kansas City Chiefs 16-game win streak against the Denver Broncos is now over. They looked pretty awful in yesterday's loss at Denver. Offense never clicked. Denver's defense shut them down. The Chiefs had 5 turnovers, 2 of which were interceptions thrown by Mahomes. It is his first time ever losing to the Broncos. And of course, toward the end there, he had a hand injury. They think he had the flu or something like the flu leading up to the game. So he wasn't himself, and it showed.
Yeah, that's rough. A bummer. That's a bummer. Yeah. Yep. But that'll fire him up. Lights a fire underneath you after a loss. So.
Well, yeah, they're going to have to get going now for sure. They've got 2 losses.
All right. Well, have a great Monday and stay warm. You might have, granted, it won't be as bad as it was yesterday, but still stay warm.
Yeah, it's getting warm. This week will be 60s at some point. You can check out Abby Dyer's
Wake Up Weather.
Wake Up Weather. Yeah, that's what it is. Right after this, you can check it out and find out. She can speak with a lot more authority than we can about the weather. Sarah was saying it's going to snow today, which is not happening.
No, I didn't say that. I just said the little icon at the bottom of my thing has the rain and the snow, like a snow picture. Yeah. What in the world?
Yeah. Okay. You need to refresh from last night, I think. All right. Thanks. Have a great Monday. We'll see you tomorrow.
Bye.
It's time for Around the Ozarks Wake Up Weather, sponsored by Scooters Coffee. Here's your host, meteorologist Abby Dyer.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to your Monday. It is October 30th. And it is scary cold outside. Ooh, we are in the mid-20s this morning. I hope you remembered late last night to cover up the sensitive vegetation, unplug the hose, because probably too late in many parts. A hard freeze across the Ozarks this morning. And this is not just the only opportunity for a hard freeze. We're going to be protecting that sensitive vegetation tonight, tomorrow night, and then again as we head into early Wednesday morning. So it's just going to be a cold couple of days here in the Ozarks. But the good news that I have for you today is that we will see the sunshine again. It has been a dreary stretch of weather, hasn't it? We've just had so much cloud cover, so much rain around the Ozarks, and we are finally seeing this storm system move to our southeast. So that's the good news that I have for you. The trade-off, of course, is the frigid temperature. It really is reminding us of what winter can sometimes feel like. A freezing start this morning, of course, freezing in the headlines. We're under that freeze watch until 9 o'clock this morning. Temperatures dipping back down into the mid-20s up in central Missouri this morning. Low 30s down to the south and east, but everybody equal opportunity for a freeze here. It's just been a really cold start. And as I said, we have more opportunities for that freezing weather again tonight and then again Wednesday morning. In fact, I think we could be approaching some record low temperatures by the time we get to Wednesday morning. Perhaps with a low temperature, not kidding, in the teens in some places. Just wow. Mid to upper 20s for most of us in the Ozarks this morning. It's a cold start, but as I said, the sunshine returns today, and that will be a nice change of pace. I've got that cold front that brought us all the rain chances over the weekend. Now, well to our southeast. This is the setup for today. We see clouds go with it. So the sunshine comes back out for us in the Ozarks. I wish I could tell you we're going to warm right on up, but I'm still only thinking that we'll be near 40 degrees for the high temperature today, well below average. So make sure you bring the big coat with you today. And I have kind of breezy conditions setting up as we head close to Halloween as well. Halloween, it's important to bundle up. I know many of you with the costume parties and things going on over the weekend, you already had to modify the costumes to include a coat over the top, long sleeves underneath, and we're going to be doing the same thing as early as tomorrow. Here's a look at the trick-or-treat timeline for you. So trick-or-treating beginning around 5 p.m. Temperatures will likely be in the mid to upper 30s at that point, and they have a north wind coming along with it. So even though the sky is clear in my forecast for tomorrow, I think we're going to be really, really cold. The temperature drops significantly too. So if you have little kids, you might want to get out the earlier the better, because numbers, they could be in the 20s as early as 7 o'clock. Tomorrow evening, it's only going to go downhill from there. By 9 p.m., I have temperatures falling back into the mid-20s, possibly. North wind on top of it. It's going to feel even colder than that. Definitely a cold Halloween. The good news in the Halloween forecast is that I also have it dry and sunny for tomorrow. So we don't have to worry about cloud cover and rain, just the really cold, bitter temperatures that are going to be in place. Temps will slowly return to normal as we head closer to the weekend forecast. It's going to take us a couple of days, though, to kind of dig out of this deep freeze that we're seeing. Temperatures this morning, of course, are in the mid-20s, and I have a high temp today of 40 degrees. North wind today, 15 miles an hour. I do have the sunshine in the forecast, but we're still only in the low 40s on Halloween. For Tuesday, 42, the high temp. Coldest morning all week will be Wednesday with a low temperature of 20. I mean, a hard freeze. No choice but to turn the heater on this week for that type of weather, definitely. And then we've got sunshine back in the forecast for Thursday and Friday. And by then, temperatures start to regulate a little bit more. We'll see numbers come back up into the 60s again by the weekend. Around the country, making headlines, of course, the snowfall from the weekend. You probably saw some of that on camera. If you were watching the Chiefs game yesterday, they woke up to snow on the field and had to clear it out yesterday. But the first snowfall of the season for many up in the northern plains, we are still talking about temperatures 15 to 35 degrees below what is typical for this time of the year for the Plain States. We're getting in on that here in the Ozarks too. Other headlines across the country include that the Santa Ana winds are going to increase this week, and that is really going to increase the risk for wildfires out in California. Fire season, of course, beginning with the abnormally dry conditions. We hope we don't hear about the wildfires, but the risk is up with the Santa Ana winds kicking in full force this week.
All right, it is time for the Around the Ozarks Wake Up Weather Brain Twister question. This is what I left you with late last week. Those of you that took a guess, I'm about to reveal the answer from Friday. When was the last time there was a full moon on Halloween? And the options that I gave you were A, 1992, B, 2001, C, 2020, or D, 2022. And those of you may remember 2020 was a pretty freaky year for most reasons, least of which is that there was a full moon on Halloween itself. That was the last time this occurred. If you are curious about the next time this will happen, we're going to be waiting a little while. The next time is going to be 2039 when the full moon actually falls on Halloween night. All right, here is your Around the Ozarks Wake Up Weather Brain Twister question that I'll leave you with for Halloween morning. What's another name for a lycanthrope? Lycanthrope. A bat. B, a black cat. C, a fungus. Or D, a werewolf. Have you ever heard of that term? I'll have the answer for you early tomorrow morning. And make sure you head to the website, aroundtheozarks.com. Submit your guess there, because if you are correct, you will be entered automatically to win a $20 gift card to Scooter's Coffee. That's what we give away every single day here on Around the Ozarks Wake Up Weather. So make sure you head to the website, enter your guess, see if you got it right. I'll reveal the answer for you early tomorrow morning on Halloween. Enjoy your day. Find a way to stay warm today. And I will be back to chat with you first thing early tomorrow morning. Thanks for listening.